I spoke to my son's school this morning. You see, last week, while he was lying in bed, valiantly fighting off the clutches of the Grim Reaper, yet somehow still managing to doom scroll TikToks, his biometric meal account was quietly depleting. Not for chips, not for pizza, not for anything remotely plausible. No, it was for fruit, potatoes, and carrot sticks. Now, anyone who knows my son will immediately see the problem here. This is a child who considers anything green an act of betrayal, and who believes that food is only editable if it's either heavily processed or drowned in Cadbury's. Fruit and carrot sticks, therefore, aren't just unlikely, they're a complete impossibility. Now, what makes this story so interesting is that biometric payments have always promised certainty. Fingerprint, for example, is supposed to be unique, definitive, and the ultimate proof of identity. But in reality, these systems don't deal in absolutes, they deal in probability. Let me explain. Now, a scanner doesn't say, that's John. It says, this looks enough like John to pass a threshold. And of course, most of the time that's fine. But every so often, the threshold tips the wrong way. That could be a smudge on the glass, a damp finger, or simply a misfire in the algorithm. And suddenly, a child who wouldn't touch a carrot stick with a barge pole is transformed into the paragon of healthy eating. Of course, the lesson here isn't that biometrics are bad, far from it. They're ingenious, elegant, and often more secure than the alternatives. But like every technology, they do carry a margin of error, a shadow of uncertainty. And when that technology is tied to something as personal as identity or as practical as a child's lunch, the stakes feel oddly human. Now, what fascinates me is just how quickly we forget this. We seem to treat machines as if they're infallible, as if sensors and algorithms guarantee truth. But the reality is messier. Machines don't eliminate error, they simply replace human error with machine error. I guess the difference is that machine error feels invisible, harder to spot, and therefore easier to dismiss. So what should we take from the phantom carrot stick story? Well, first, humility. Recognise that even the smartest systems can get it wrong. We then need to think about resilience and build processes that catch mistakes before they spiral. Now, whether that's a parent checking an account or an enterprise designing safeguards, it all matters. And thirdly, we need to have perspective. You see, a mischarged school meal is trivial, but scale that same principle up to banking, healthcare, and national security, and suddenly the consequences are anything but. The point is this. Technology doesn't absolve us of responsibility, it demands more of it. Because behind every fingerprint, every scan, and every transaction lies a probability. And probabilities, however sophisticated, are not certainty. So next time you hear someone say, don't worry, the system will take care of it, remember the phantom carrot sticks. Remember that trusting technology isn't about believing it will never fail, but preparing for the moment when it inevitably does.